Hi, welcome back to the Motherhood Collective Co. We recorded both of the last episode and this episode back to back. Somehow, something happened with the settings on the mic of this next episode where there was a lot of feedback. So I had to delete the audio for this episode, and I almost wasn't going to post at all, but Brady talked me off a ledge and said that even Alex Hermosi posts stuff that has bad audio, and he just does a little intro clip to explain to everybody that the audio kind of sucks and why. So please post it. So if you have an entrepreneur husband, then you know who Alex Hermosi is. And apparently he also has audio issues. But just a reminder that this is just me doing this by myself, all this audio stuff and the editing. So I know, like, I had posted a screen an Instagram live as an episode one week when Jesse and I don't know if someone was sick or what was going on. And we still got someone messaging us talking about how bad the audio was, even though I did an intro. So I almost let that scare me off because I don't like confrontation. But here's the audio. It's the camera audio. And it's honestly not that bad. It's just not as crisp as this is that you're listening to. So I hope you still enjoy it. It's still great content. I didn't want to just keep it from you guys. And yeah, have a good week. We will see you next week with audio that hopefully doesn't suck. And if you hear my dogs panting in the background, I am sorry. Record there. Record here.
I wish we could have been shown this picture while we were going through miscarriages.
I know. Oh my gosh.
Little nuggets. I'm like, I know people say that life gets better and better with different phases, but I'm like, a baby is the best it gets. Holding a baby.
Why is it doing
Like baby laughs? Are you kidding me?
No. Gift from the Lord.
I really didn't think I was going to love babies as much as I do.
I've always loved babies. I just didn't always want to be a mother. It's just so sad to think about. Yeah. Because I was with the wrong person.
Yeah.
And we would have just recreated my childhood together.
Mm-hmm.
So I was absolutely not ever going to have kids and recreate my childhood. My childhood was good in a lot of ways, but also it was traumatic in a lot of ways. Don't want to do that.
I don't think that I never really wanted to be a mom when I was little either. Like, I would tell my mom all the time, like, I'm not having kids because I don't want to get an IV.
Yeah.
Because I would look at her hospital photos, and I saw that she had an IV, and I was like,
no, I was a baby doll kid. I, from like a year old, always had a baby doll. Yeah. Always had a baby doll. So, and then I was the babysitter of all of my mom's friends. Like, I was always babysitting the kids. I was going to be a mother. And it wasn't until I grew up that I was like, childhood kind of sucks. I don't want to recreate that.
I know, that's sad. But I was always more like all about the toddlers. Like, I was the person that was like, give me your toddler for the day. We're going to be best friends. Like, when I nannied, I gravitated towards toddlers. I loved children. But babies, like, the first newborn I ever held was Sunny, because I was always like, too breakable, it's gonna cry, I don't know what to do.
How funny, that leads us right into our first question. Welcome back to the Motherhood Collective Co. Let's read that one first.
Which one?
The one the honest opinion about the I'm actually gonna take that question down.
We weren't on the same page as
Sorry, you were talking and I'm gonna delete that story now.
So what are your honest thoughts on the newborn stage?
Oh, don't delete it because we still have to look at it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna delete it.
We're not gonna delete it yet. So what are our honest thoughts on newborn stage?
I have it screenshotted. You can delete it.
Oh,
if
that
would
make
you feel better.
Let's check and see if there's more.
There's 6. But then I have all these other ones from the last questions. Like, look at this.
Oh, snap. We have so many. Okay, we're going to get to what we get to.
Yeah.
Delete. Because she said she's struggling, right, in the newborn phase?
Yeah, she said I don't love it.
I have 2 experiences. With Lily, having a newborn has been the most... It was a very redemptive postpartum experience for me. And I loved the newborn phase. 1, because I know how easy it is compared to a 4-year-old. Yeah, the rest of their lives. They just are so chill and sit with you. But with Noah, I remember getting to like 3, 4, 5 months, and I was like, okay, this is the sweet spot for me with Noah, because I had such bad postpartum depression. Nursing was not intuitive for me. The first month, I had a really hard time for a full month, like cracked and bleeding nipples and all of that. And then, there was just a lot going on when Noah was a newborn. And I loved him. Mm-hmm. But I do remember getting out of the newborn phase and thinking like, oh, this is so much more fun. Mm-hmm. But with Lily, it's like, oh, wait, that newborn phase. Mm-hmm. It goes so fast and it's gone. And I love it. So I totally can understand where she's coming from, because you're probably just having a subpar experience for one reason or the other. But it does get better if you aren't loving it. And I've heard a lot of moms say that, actually.
I have too. I honestly feel like all the stars have to align for it to be an enjoyable experience.
It does, because you are wearing disposable underwear, and either you had a major surgery and you're in pain, or you had something come out of your vagina, and that probably hurts. I don't know. I've never done it. But I bet it hurts.
Don't ask us.
Like you're leaking, and there's milk everywhere, and your boobs hurt, and you're not sleeping great, and your hormones are just insane. So it's so valid that you're not enjoying yourself.
Yeah.
Let yourself get a little bit more closer to normal, and you're just gonna rock it. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah. I think I didn't have any expectations. Like, I just did not. I was in pure survival mode with Sunny's pregnancy. Like, I had hyperemesis, so I was in the hospital all the time because I was so sick. And then I got to the point in her pregnancy where I was like, oh wait, like, I get a baby after this. Like, I was so, like, head in the sand trying to survive that pregnancy. It tried to kill me, I think. And then our birth was so crazy and awful that I think, like, I don't know. I just think that, like, she was the light at the end of the tunnel. Like, our nursing journey and postpartum for me with Sunny, I was on freaking cloud nine.
I had that
because I was like, I'm not pregnant anymore. No. I'm through that awful birth experience. I have this, like, precious little angel that, like, I got so blessed with, like, a chunky baby that wanted to sleep and loved to nurse, and, like, I didn't know any different. So with Ledger, my whole fear the whole time with Ledger was like, oh, what if I get a colicky baby, or there's, he's not what Sunny was as a newborn, because I kept hearing people say, she's a unicorn, enjoy her, that's not normal. But Ledger's been the same way.
Yeah.
Like, I think he had a little bit rougher of a transition into the world. Like, I think the first week of life, I was terrified of him because he was crying all the time. Mm-hmm. And in hindsight,
loud and hungry and big.
Well, in hindsight, Chase was like, okay, we're not giving him enough credit because we were in the hospital for the first, like, 4 or 5 days.
And he was getting poked in his little foot.
He was getting poked every hour on his heel because he was having a hard time with his glucose because he's such a chonker. And he had to get formula in the hospital, which, that had to happen. And so his belly was probably hurting him, and he was getting physically poked to the point where you would go to reach for his foot, and he'd pull it away really fast. Like, he knew it was going to be, like, ouch. And I felt like when we got home, it was like, oh, this, like, peace washed over him, and he could sleep better. And now he's just a little bit, I tell everyone he's just a potato. He just, like, comes with me, and he's just, like, there. Like, he's just chunky and, like, happy to be there, you know? Yeah. So I love the newborn stage. I love it. But I also see exactly why people don't. I see, like, I watched my sister walk through a child that would not sleep, cried 24/7, had belly issues, wouldn't latch, was... Like,
that's hard.
Would only nurse on one side. So many things.
We have friends that have tongue ties.
Tongue ties, yeah.
It's just, and it's so hard. And I think a lot of times it has a lot to do with, this is, like, probably the hardest thing you've ever experienced. And you need to give yourself some grace and credit for that. Yeah. You're not a bad mom because you're not loving the newborn phase.
Right. And it is so short. Like, if you're enjoying it, it's so short. Enjoy it. If you're hating it, it's so short. It's like, gonna end. Yeah.
It will end. And I have loved every phase of parenthood so much, just as much as I love the last phase. You know what I mean? So you have so much to look forward to. Yeah. Right now, Lily is 10 months old. She's walking. She's, like, communicating by pointing at everything. And she's, like, really starting to understand things are clicking. Freaking love this phase. Love this phase. And then she's going to be, like, a full-blown toddler walking around and able to communicate with me. Love that phase.
I remember someone saying that to me with Sunny because I was like, this is my favorite month.
Yeah.
This is my favorite month.
Time.
And I truly said that every month. I think, like, month 1 through 18. Yeah. I always say, like, 8 months through 18 months are, I think, like, my sweet spot, like, my favorite time.
It's just so sweet, so innocent.
So sweet. It really is. But then it's, like, there's the sweetest things about having a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old that you're, like, these questions, these conversations, they're little hearts. The glimpses of baby, but then, like, the glimpses of being a big kid and... I really feel like it's, like, all so sweet. But, like, there is something 0 to 4 that I just think in general is, like, very, very
special.
I'm very
terrified of having a teenager. I'll tell you that. So I'm just going to soak in all this little kid
I wonder what this podcast is going to be when, like, Noah and Sunny are teenagers.
I know, me too.
We're going to be like, help!
We love being moms and babies, but this is so hard.
We're not going to be wearing like sundresses anymore. We're going to be wearing like leggings and we're going to be like crying. Just kidding. I don't want to say that.
No,
it's likely.
Yeah. Teenagers scare me. They scare me now. Like when I go to order food, it's a teenager. I'm like, are you judging me?
I'm so intimidated to walk past like a group of like, yes, I know. I'm like, what are they thinking about me? Why do I care so much?
I look like a mom. Yeah. They don't even think I'm cool anymore. Yeah. They think I'm old. Why do I care?
I don't care what anyone thinks about me except if you're a random group of teenagers at the park. And I'm terrified.
I'm suddenly very self-conscious of everything I'm wearing.
You know, I'm like, wait, do they hate that I'm talking to my kid in a baby voice? I don't know. They're probably judging everything. Well, let's see here. What is your favorite place?
Sorry.
What is your favorite place to find kids' clothing?
Oh, I have lots of favorite places to find kids clothing. But I don't know, some people think that you shouldn't buy new kids' clothes. You should only do hand-me-downs. And that's cool if that's you. That's cool. I grew up on hand-me-downs, so that
was me when I only had a girl, because you can go to the thrift store and find a million cute things.
Not so much. So H&M has been, since Noah's been in toddlerhood, H&M has been my go-to for all of his clothes. I buy everything there because they're not like super expensive. A lot of their clothes, like, you can look at their what they're composed of. A lot of them are really good quality, 100% cotton. So that's like my absolute go-to for both of my kids, honestly.
Like a little girl section at H&M, it just kills me.
Yes, and again,
so
good
cute.
quality.
Yeah.
So if I had to pick one favorite that I would shop for my kids forever, it would be H&M online. I don't really go to the store too much. I like to go to the store and like just browse what they have, but it's kind of far for me, and they have more online for the little kid stuff. So also don't like their clothes on me. Adults don't love it.
I know. Yeah, I actually don't either.
Well, especially because like a size 2 is a size 6 there.
Yeah.
Like, what a way to just deflate.
I know. Yeah, it is crazy.
Yeah, but kids' clothes, 10 out of 10. Right.
Yeah, I would agree. That's why I went to H&M the other day, because I know you find cute stuff there all the time, and I was just like, browse in the little girl section, like the baby girl section. I was just like, what am I doing? I came here for leisure. And I just like mope over to the little boy section. That's why I had to get Lily a dress. I'm like, I have to buy something here that's like a little girl thing.
That is so funny.
But for Sunny, I thrifted all of her clothes for probably until Ledger was born. Like everything that girl had was like from a thrift store, because
and she's always so cute.
You can go to a thrift store and like find all these cute vintage dresses that are really good quality ingredients.
Because I don't have the patience to do it.
Yeah, did I just say ingredients?
Yes, but we know
materials. I know we do need to go thrifting. And when I had a little boy, I was like, wait a second, the thrift section for little boys, everything is like grass stained or like ripped or not cute or like a truck with a face on it. And I was like, this is not what I'm going for right now. So I felt I had a little bit of guilt because I was buying Ledger new clothes and I never bought Sunny new clothes. I fell in love with like Winnie and Crew?
Yeah.
And like the Oatco.
Yeah.
Those two places. I'm like, I really felt, and especially because of my losses, I was having a hard time connecting with him. And I think I texted you and my sister and I was like, guys, I need to buy, I was like 38 weeks pregnant. I was like, I need to buy Ledger like a coming home outfit. He has nothing.
Yeah.
Like he has literally nothing. And so I like went on Spearmint Baby and bought him like a cute little going home outfit. It's hard for me to justify the pricing of kids' clothes because I'm like, dude, I know you're going to spit up and poop in this and I know you're going to outgrow it in 2 weeks. Even now with Sunny, I'm like, the fact that I spent 99 cents on that shirt, eat the peanut butter sandwich, smear it all over your clothes. If it washes, great. If it doesn't, I'm not devastated. It wasn't $45 or whatever.
I feel like if you're going to buy expensive, or I'm buying expensive clothes for my kids, it's something that will be passed down. So it will be on a boy or a girl. Yes. And it will be very high quality. Like that little Petite Parker, the little store close to us. She sells like a lot of Quincy May and stuff like that. And Lily has a few pieces of there. And she's also has worn some of Noah's pieces that I bought for him. So it's like... Yeah.
There's actually this boutique in Australia. Is that Winnie and Crew?
I don't know. I bought you a Winnie and Crew outfit for him.
I know. And then I bought the exact same outfit in a different color because I was obsessed with it. He wore it all the time.
That little sweater romper.
There is another one that, yeah, Winnie and Crew. There's one that's like based in Australia. I ordered from there and I loved their stuff, but it took, Blossom and Pear.
Oh, yes, we do. Okay.
I love Blossom and Pear,
Listen.
but like wait 3 weeks to get your stuff for sure.
No, they don't. They definitely. Oh, I shouldn't say that. Maybe I shouldn't say that. They definitely buy all their stuff off Temu and then resell it.
You think?
Oh, 100%.
Blossom and Pear?
Yes. I've got a story for you, but I'll share it afterwards.
My sister has a theory about that. She was like, she orders all her clothes from Temu, and I was so skeptical of it because I was like, this is literal sweatshop clothing. And then she's like, but look at this boutique, and then look at this Amazon, and look at all these other things online, and it's the exact same piece of clothing. People are just buying it and reselling it and putting their tags on it. And I was like, oh no, now my mind is just like blown up.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was a fun question.
So, next.
Do you keep a chore cleaning schedule? If so, what is it?
Jesse and I might not be the people to ask this because we have no problem cleaning
all the time.
I actually have a problem with cleaning too much, and we just did like a test on Noah on like his hair and the tissue from inside of his mouth, and an emotion that came up for him was ignored, right? And now I've been in my spiral because like I clean. That's what I do. I don't know, like I'm Monica from Friends.
Yeah, I know.
And so like, and now I'm like having to stop myself. And I said I've been like lazy this week. It's because I've literally, I'm like, okay, no one, he's awake, I gotta stop. I have to stop. So for me, I will not go, not that I won't. These are the things that are important to me. My sink, my kitchen, my sink needs to be empty when I go to bed. My counters need to be wiped down. My floors need to be hairless. I have 2 85-plus-pound dogs. They are very hairy. I vacuum this house every single day, sometimes multiple times a day. I have a Dyson. It's like my little best friend, and my kids follow me around when I vacuum. It's fine. So is my house hairless? Is my countertops clean? And is my sink empty? Yeah. Those are like my non-negotiables.
Those are some good. Yeah.
Those are my non-negotiables. I do laundry every Monday.
Yeah.
Because I like it. On Monday. That's like a thing I look for.
Does that make me weird? No, I'm the same way. You know that. Like, laundry is my favorite chore.
Well, I feel like we stay at home with our children all day long. This is our work environment. And then our husbands are home on the weekend. It messes it all up.
Yeah.
So Monday, I get to put my work environment.
I love that.
Exactly how it is.
I love that so much.
I get to do my laundry.
Yes. I almost think this question is about to change drastically for me because we're like doubling our square footage in like a week. Right now, I can clean my whole home in like under 2 hours.
Oh, no, I can do that.
I could clean like a deep clean, like surfaces. I always have like different categories: surfaces, floors. So surfaces, anything that something can land on. So like desks, dressers, like ridges on walls, you know, windowsills, surfaces, floors, and dishes. Like that pretty much covers everything. And then like bathrooms are their own day. This isn't like necessarily organized, but it's like in my brain it is. Surfaces and vacuum and surfaces and floors happen every day. I have like a hardwood floor vacuum and a carpet vacuum, and surfaces get done every single day. And then the sink gets done every single night as well. That's like a non-negotiable for me as well. If I don't do that, my whole day starts off just scrubbing dishes, and I'm like half awake. And I'm just like, why am I doing this? This is not fun. Mondays are like my grocery shopping days, so I clean out my fridge, which I love cleaning out the fridge and the pantry, throwing everything away, and scrubbing everything. You know, like welcoming your like groceries into the love that. I try to do actually a load of laundry every day, but it's only because I genuinely love doing laundry so much. Like I like search my house and I'm like, what can I wash today? Between like, I wash bedding weekly. And towels. Towels probably get washed more than they need to, but what ends up happening is like we don't in our current home have hooks for our towels, so they end up on the banister, and then they end up on the floor, and then the dogs drag them down the stairs, and I'm like, well, that's going in the laundry. Yeah, that's dirty. But it's a little bit scattered, but in my brain it makes sense. What I'm processing for our new home is doing something like every day. There's certain chores that are daily, and then there's certain chores that are like, okay, maybe today I'm doing floors, but tomorrow I don't need to do floors. And the next day, like, I'm thinking about how to break it up to make it more practical. Because in our new house, I could see myself like 5 hours in and still finding things to clean.
If I was to do this house all at one time, it would be 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
So I deep clean every other week because every other week I have a cleaner come. And we started that postpartum, but I realized that about myself is that I will put everything else on the side, even my own children, to clean my house. And I realized that about myself, so I don't let it happen. So every other week, Mariana comes to clean my house, and I love her to freaking death. I tell her all the time after she leaves, I'm so grateful for you when you come help me. Like, we have the best relationship.
Yeah.
But the weeks that I do deep clean, I do the downstairs. The downstairs is kind of like you're constantly cleaning it, right? Because that's where we live. We're a living room family.
Yeah, same.
So we're not like in our rooms unless we're sleeping.
Yeah.
We're a living area.
Right.
So like before I go to bed, all the toys are picked up. But like if I'm deep cleaning, the downstairs is one day because I can do that while we're all hanging out. The next day, I will vacuum the stairs. That takes a long time because I have dogs. I use like a little brush to get like the front of the stairs and the top and all the sides.
Right.
And I will do the bathrooms that day too.
Yeah.
And then the next day I vacuum like the landing and the bedrooms and I wash all the sheets.
Right.
So it's like a 3-day process.
Yeah.
On the weeks that I
Which is
clean.
good, yeah.
And then the weeks that Mariana comes, she does it all in one day while we're out, and then I don't have to do it.
I know. Maybe I'll consider that. Like, I don't know, I'm such a perfectionist that the people that I've had come clean my house, I'm like, oh, but this wasn't good enough, which sounds so bad out loud, but I used your lady one time, and I was like, wait, she did a great job.
I love her.
And so I'm willing
she
to
loves
pay
my
that,
kids.
like, even monthly, if it like, maybe even if I can tell my brain this is going to get done.
Yeah.
It's not like you or nobody. And also, like, I'm the same way. I will put cleaning above people.
Yeah.
And that's not good. Like, I will put, like, my tasks above people. Like, if I need to, like, grow, like, my home tasks, I should say. Like, if my home isn't good, I have, like, once a week I have something that I call in my brain a home day. So, like, if I have some plans, like, say I have plans on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, it's like, okay, Chase doesn't work Mondays, so, like, Tuesday has to be a home day because otherwise, like, I'm going to get so off track with my tasks. So, I've kind of tried to have a boundary in my brain like that. Like, okay, today's a home day, but that means the rest of the week, I'm saying yes to every play date. I'm leaving my house. We're not staying behind to do all this stuff.
Yes. Well, and the more you're in your house, the dirtier it gets.
Yes.
Also, I think the biggest part of keeping a clean home is having a system for your toys.
Yes.
So we have, because we have toys like everywhere, but they're all organized. So like the schoolroom toys stay in the schoolroom.
Yeah.
They don't come out of the schoolroom. And each toy's like the train has a box that it goes in. The magnetiles have a box that it goes in. So that if it's out and I say, hey, no, go put this away, he knows right where it goes. And he could have done that at 2 years old.
Yes.
And then we have hutch. This front hutch in my entryway it's full of toys. The baskets, they're the hutch toys. The hutch toys can be played with in the living room, but we put them back. And they're hidden, so like you open that up, it's a mess in there, but all the toys are in there every night. And then Lily has her baskets of toys on the changing table and in this little table that's behind our couch. And they're in baskets, but I know, Lily knows those are the toys she plays with in the living room. And they go back in those baskets. Yeah. Noah has some toys in his room, like all of his big trucks that he plays with are in his room. He plays with those upstairs. He'll play with them in the landing. He'll bring them in my room. Those toys go back in his room. And then Lily has a basket of toys in my room for when I'm getting ready. Those toys stay in my room. They don't leave my room. And then they go back in the basket. So if you have a specific spot, like if your kids are going to play with toys all over the house, have room toys.
I honestly think we should have a whole episode about like home organization because it's a huge passion of both of ours. And I feel like the systems is that is 100% what I would communicate to. Like if you want a clean home, there needs to be systems. Everything needs to have a place. Yeah. That's like, my kids are going to grow up someday and be like, oh, mom, like that's going to be my phrase, right? Like everything has a place. So like wherever you took something from, we're putting it back in the same place.
But if it's not organized, your kids can't do that.
Exactly. You need to purge. You need to be minimal. You need to organize, however that looks like for you. But like we're the same way with systems. Everything needs to go back where you found it. And we're not allowed to take out more toys if you haven't put the last. So if she wants to play with her magnetiles, great. You want to play with your Legos now? We're putting your magnetiles back in the box, putting them back in the hutch. You can grab your Legos out. And she knows that. Like, also, I feel like sometimes parents don't give their kids enough credit. Like, you can tell your kids, set a firm boundary. Like, and I tell Sunny, because she'll ask, why? Why do I have to do this? Well, because we want to be good stewards of our things. We want to be a good steward of our home. Mommy spends a lot of time cleaning up, and I love cleaning up, but these are your things. I clean up my things. I clean up a lot of your things, and these are the things I'm asking you to take care of. And here's a really good way to do it. When you're done, put it back. Yeah. And then you get something else out.
100%. Noah knows you don't get up from the table without bringing your dish. I don't care what house we're in. And that's kind of recent, like, right, since I've trusted him to bring it over. And I'm not rude about it. Like, he'll stand up, I'm like, oh, did you bring me your dish? And then enough times. And sometimes he'll ask me, or, like, it's kind of started when he had, like, a piece of trash and he's a toddler and he'd throw it on the floor at the grocery store. And I'd pick it up, like, no, we can't do that. And he'd ask why. I'm like, well, because we can't expect other people to pick up our stuff. Right. That's not okay. And then that kind of carries into everything that you do. So I think there's lots of examples to teach your kids.
Honestly, like, we will have another episode about this. We should do that. It's so fun. Maybe just, like, even, like, a homemaker series.
Yeah, that would also be fun.
How do you limit your own screen time?
I have a game with myself.
I love your game.
And sometimes it's not like sometimes I fail at it, but my game is how long can I keep my phone on the kitchen counter?
Yes.
And not check it. And I will, like, look at the time and I will beat myself because I have a beat the timer, like, problem. I will beat the timer to unload my dishwasher because that is my most hated task. I hate it. Dishes will pile up in my sink because the dishwasher is clean and full. So that's, like, the one thing I'm like, Brady, can you just please do that every day, please?
That's funny. That's what she says too.
Yeah, that's his thing. Yeah. I will take the trash out. I will mow the lawn if I have to. Yeah. I will do everything else before I will unload the freaking dishwasher.
That's what she says too. And it's such, like, when I communicated that and he took that on, it was such a relief. Yeah. I was like,
oh, I can do everything now.
Yes. It's just funny how you have your least favorite chore and then your favorite chore, and, like, his least favorite chore is laundry, and I'm like, bring it on. I freaking love laundry. Yeah. He loves doing dishes, so whatever.
With the phone thing, yes. I'm a game person with myself, so how long can I leave it on the kitchen counter? There's also, like, you can scroll. Oh, I have it on my screen. You can scroll to the left and see how long you've been on your phone today and this week. Except for it's not loading right now. Oh, there it is. There it is. I've been on my phone. Ooh, way too much today for an hour. When was I on my phone?
Mine says 29 minutes at 6 a.m.
Mine was at...
Wait, what was I doing at 6 a.m.?
Mine was also at 6 a.m. Oh, Noah was looking at photos on my phone. Okay, while Lily was still sleeping. I'm like, why have I been on my phone for an hour? But you can look at, like, how long you've been on your phone. So set a time for yourself. Yeah. And say, okay, I want to give myself 2 hours today. Because, like, picking up your phone for 20 minutes while your kid's sleeping, I think is fine. Whatever. Like, set your own thing and then, like, just keep yourself accountable. Yeah. Also, just stop posting your kids online and then you won't feel like you need to be on your phone so much.
Always that's the most real thing.
Change.
It's so wholesome. It's like, I almost forgot to even take a photo of Sunny this morning.
I know.
For a soccer game.
I know, me too.
Because I don't like that stuff. We don't have Easter photos together. Like, and given I still love photos and I need to prioritize that a little more, you're not going into experiences. Like, if, like, we were going to the botanical gardens one time and I was like, I literally don't care what I look like because I'm not taking a photo. Like, I'm going to put my hair in a bun. No, like, I don't care. It's just so wonderful. Yes. It's so addicting to just, like, not care. But for me, I actually was just processing this with Chase last night. I said, like, what about in our new home? I just had this idea. Because he has, like, multiple phones for, like, work and this whole thing. I'm thinking about getting one of those baskets that hangs on the wall, like a cute basket. That has, like, charging ports in it. That's right by the garage door. And when he gets home from work, my phone and his phones, like, go in there. Yes. They're off. And we also thought about getting a landline because we already have really terrible cell reception at our new house anyways. Landline for, like, emergencies or if someone really needed something. And, like, it's just a known fact in our home at 5 p.m. you're not hearing from us until the next morning. Chase and I used to turn our phones off for Sabbath. Like, we wouldn't have our phone. So starting Saturday night until Monday morning, you could not get a hold of us. Well, our families, like, threw fits about that. And it became, like, a thing where we'd, like, show up to Sunday dinner and it's, like, wasn't happening or, like, you know, just, like, something, like, that needed to get communicated, didn't it? And so we kind of fell off that track, but I loved doing that. Yeah. And I think just, like, little challenges like that of, like, wait a second, we don't need that. Everything that's on this device is less important and less timely than the people sitting right in front of me. Yes. But I leave my phone in places all the time. That's like, people are like, you suck at texting. I'm like, I totally suck at texting, but like half the time I genuinely don't know where my phone is. Like, it is missing. Like that one day when I had to bring Ledger into the urgent care, I was going to meet up with you. My phone just disappeared for an hour and a half. Like, just stuff like that. That's just like the regular rhythms of my life.
But set hard boundaries. Like, no phones at our dinner table. And also, like, Brady and I have a hard boundary of our kids don't see us on our phones. And if he does, I'm communicating what I'm doing.
Which is really impressive, I have to say, because I don't, like...
It's not easy.
No. Like,
it's not easy. And I have to get on Brady sometimes because he'll be like doing work. I'm like, it's fine to do it, but tell him what you're doing.
Right.
Because what I don't want him growing up thinking is like, oh, my mom always thought that something on her phone was more important than me. Yeah. So I'll tell him like, oh, I'm texting Jesse real quick. Give me just a moment. And I'm going to set my phone down.
Yeah. I think what's hard for me, like being a writer, I don't always have like my pen and my paper, but like thoughts just come into my brain all the time.
Sunny, hey, I'm writing something really cute about you right now. Give me just
I do tell her that. And it's gotten to the point where, like, I think a lot of times she does, like, I'll pick up my phone, she'll be like, oh, are you writing a poem? And I'm like, no, but, like, that's really sweet. But that's really impressive, because, like, I even find myself, like, when we're in the car, like, oh, I have, like, 4 phone calls I need to make, or, like, I don't know how to, like, not have her see me on my phone, you know?
I tell Noah all the time, phones are, because we don't let him play games on our phones, and we don't have games on our phones, but he'll see other people doing that, and we don't let him watch shows on our phones, and he sees other people do that. We tell him, like, no, phones are tools. We use them to talk to people or to get something done for work. So when, like, I'm on a phone call, don't worry about that. If I'm sending a quick text message to a friend, I communicate to him, I don't worry about that. It's the scrolling. That, totally. That is not okay for me. So it's not that he doesn't see me on my phone. He doesn't see me.
I definitely don't do that. Yeah, totally.
If that makes sense. Because if you are using your phone as a tool and not as a source of entertainment when your children are in front of you, they'll grow up and they'll see, oh, yeah, we use phones. We use phones. Phones don't use us.
Yeah. I know. That's why getting a landline is so tempting, because I feel like everybody's like, but what if someone needs me? Or like, what if I need somebody? And it's like, what if we wrote people's phone numbers down? Like, I think I could literally have your phone number, and I know I have everyone else's, like, my whole family's phone numbers memorized. Like, why do I need... I don't know. I just think it'd be a fun challenge to just be like, phones, gone, put away. Because it's even hard for Chase as an entrepreneur to, like, come home and, like, shut his whole brain off. To be like, oh, crap, like, I really just needed to, like, tell this one person about this thing tomorrow. And they're both, like, the owners of a business.
Yes,
they're
there's
both
not
in charge of, like...
time where they get to clock out.
Yes,
ever.
And, like, there's multiple people relying on them for like, this is something Chase talked about the other day. He's like, I'm, carrying the weight of, like, a provider on my shoulders, but I'm also providing for 5 other families.
Yeah,
like,
we're the same.
Full-blown families.
Feeding their children.
Feeding their kids and their wives. And, like, that is a lot of pressure. And so if he was like, well, if somebody's going to call in sick or tell me that they can't come into work the night before or the morning of, and, like, I need to make different arrangements or whatever that is. So we're trying to figure out what that's going to look like. It's a little tricky, but I love the idea of just, like, certain time frames where it's just known.
Yeah.
We're gone. We don't have our phones.
Yeah. Like I said, don't let your kids think that phones use you, because when you sit there and scroll in front of them, that's exactly what they think. Mommy gets sucked into this. Yeah. This has power over her. Because it does, let's be honest. Yeah. Lily falls asleep. I try to make eye contact with her while she falls asleep. And then once she falls asleep, I'm like, oh, pick up my phone.
Okay, is that book have you started that book yet?
Yes. It's so good.
Melting my heart.
It's so good.
Literally just, like, because I go on those drives. Our book club book right now for this month is called Being There, Why Prioritizing Motherhood in the First 3 Years Matters.
Have we actually posted that to our Facebook group, what the book is?
Maybe not.
We should.
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But I go on my drives, I turn on the audiobook, the kids are sleeping, and I'm, like, learning about all of these brain synapses in an infant and all the things that, like, I'm dying. I just, like, see Ledger in my rear view, and I'm just like, oh, and it's just like, oh, I don't know. I just love the book so much. I'm
good.
like,
you guys should all
in love with it. Can you opt out of a catheter? So nervous to get one if I end up with an epidural.
Guess what?
Oh, girl.
My favorite part about having babies that are C-sections is my catheter.
What?
I love it so much. And I always dread to get it taken out. I love the catheter so much.
Okay, you're going to get 2 polar opposite experiences here.
Well, let me tell you about my catheter experience.
Hilarious. I'm crying.
I have my whole life because...
I was like, can I take this home with me?
Yes, I didn't want it to come out. Both times. Both times. Well, with Noah, I didn't have it in until after I was numb. I didn't feel it
Right.
at all.
Yeah.
So, but my whole life, because I was sexually abused as a child, my pelvic floor is a freaking sheet of rock, which is why my body will not have babies. No matter how much work I do, it just won't do it. And so going pee, I was never fully emptying my bladder, so I constantly had UTIs growing up, constantly. And that is a very common thing with kids that are sexually abused. So if you take your kid to the doctor for a UTI and they start asking you funny questions, that's why. But when I had the catheter, so I didn't drink a lot, right? I was constantly dehydrated because I'm like, oh, I don't want to have to pee.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to go pee. It hurts to pee.
Right.
So I had my catheter and I drank so much. It was glorious.
That is hilarious.
Brady was making me with Noah because we were in the hospital for 3.5 days or whatever. And they have a whole cooler full of fun drinks. And I was just someone who sipped on water throughout the day a little bit. He was making me ginger ale mixed with cranberry juice. And I would drink like one every 20 minutes. And the nurses kept laughing because they kept coming in. My bag was constantly full. And they came in to take it. I'm like, can you just leave it? Because I know I'm just going to have a UTI and it's going to be bad. With Lily, they put the catheter in and I did feel it. And it honestly did not hurt me. It felt like, just because someone's saying they're nervous about it, it felt like going pee, like you had to pee really bad and you held it and now you're going pee. That's what it felt like to me. And to get it pulled out, it feels the same. It's like a quick 2-second, like,
I hate the feeling
it
of
felt
things
like
going in my pee hole.
I'm going pee though. Like it just feels like I'm going pee.
Okay.
And if it got tugged
I'm going to preface this by saying this is the least of your concerns.
Yeah.
Birth.
You won't care. Once you get there, you won't care.
It is as nonchalant as an IV in your arm. Like, it is so minimal.
Yeah.
So,
and that's hard to understand if you've never done it.
Yeah. And it's uncomfortable to think about. I was not numb with Sunnies and a student was putting it in. And that was ridiculous. And
you can also regret students not being in your room.
Yeah. Well, if I knew then what I know now, I would have said, get out of here.
You're not touching my pee hole.
Like, okay. I hate the feeling of anything going in my pee hole. It's like the literal, like, oh,
it's
do you know that feeling?
So you don't think that we just call it pee holes?
Do you know that feeling when you eat too much frosting on a cupcake and you get that weird feeling in your throat?
No, actually, I don't.
Never mind. I don't. It's just a cringy feeling to me, but it's literally not because it's painful.
Yeah.
It's not. It's just things aren't supposed to go in that hole. Yeah. It's like your butthole. Like things are not supposed to go in. It's supposed to be a one-way
just
exit. So like, I think it's just a different sensation and it's not painful. It's just weird.
But you can drink as much as you want and you never have the
and
feeling
it
of a
is so
full
nice,
bladder.
especially if you get a C-section, but even if you don't, not getting out of bed.
Yes.
When you are waking up in the middle of the night for 3+ months in your third trimester, multiple times to go pee, and then you can sleep through the night in the hospital because you don't have to, well, you're not necessarily, you know.
Yeah. You're not going to get up to
You're not getting up to go pee, and that is a lifesaver.
It is so nice.
And getting it taken out is like, they're like, can you cough twice? And then it's like, you don't feel it.
Yeah, it just feels like you're going pee. Like you held it a little too long, and now you're peeing, and that initial like rush of urine coming out of your urethra when you have to pee.
And I'm pretty sure if you're getting an epidural, they do it after your epidural, don't they, or no?
Well, I did a walking epidural with Lily, so I still felt it, which is fine.
I just don't know if, like, what's normal. Like, Amanda and I have such different stories. Like, I just don't know. Neither of us were, like, in a normal labor with, like, a normal epidural and, like, had a normal...
That's so true, yeah.
So I don't know. I almost feel like they would put that in after your epidural.
I do, I think that. And then also, like, if they didn't, people would talk more about it. So don't worry, you won't feel it.
Like, I know with Ledger, they put it in when I was in the OR, already had my spinal block. Yeah. So it was no thing.
Yeah. That's fine.
How much time do we have? Do you want to do like one more question, or
how many questions do we have left?
Well, we have the infinite amount of questions.
Let's just do the 6 that are asked today.
Oh, well then that was it.
Oh.
So should we do one more?
One more. I want to be done in like the next 6 minutes.
Okay.
Because we're going to a birthday party and I have not bought gifts yet because I'm unprepared this week. So do a quick one. Congrats on your baby, by the way. That's the last thing you'd be nervous about is your catheter.
I know.
Drink all the fun drinks. Tell your husband, I'm nervous about this, so let's make it fun and bring me all the fun things to drink afterwards. I'm just going to drink everything. You might get swollen.
Like, some of these I don't know how, like, why is preschool so expensive in California? Like, cars.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Car seats at age 1. I don't know what that.
Okay, so we can talk about that. Car seats in general, because, like,
first of all, put some thought into your car seat. I have a lot of opinions about car seats. Brady and I got into a car accident, and it totaled my car when I was 36 weeks pregnant, and I have been terrified of car accidents ever since.
Yeah.
So when I look for a car seat, when it comes to any car seat, I make sure it's a steel frame. I do not buy a plastic frame car seat. So the ones my kids are in right now, Lily has the Uppa Baby Mesa. Noah has a Nuna Raba. And the other thing I look for is I want to make sure that they don't have flame retardants on their seat because they sit in those a lot. So both of my kids' car seats are made of something with an M, wool. It's a wool. It's naturally flame retardant free, or it's naturally flame retardant, so they don't have to do added chemicals to it. Because the added chemical that's in flame retardant is bromine. Either way,
I'm actually looking at it
super
right
toxic.
now. Yeah.
So the Nuna Raba, the Uppa Baby Mesa, I know.
And all of Britax, which is what Sunny has too.
Yeah, and I know they have a steel frame.
Yeah. Britax, I think, is a really good... I mean, this is so naive, but I bought it because it was the most expensive one.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really look into why it was the most expensive one. I was just like, it felt sturdier.
It's actually not as expensive as a Nuna. It's a great one. That
really?
Is like, yes. It is
it was just at Target. Whatever was most expensive at Target.
Yeah, they don't sell Nuna or anything at Target. But Britax is a great car seat, especially if you're like a little bit on a budget, but it checks all the boxes.
And it's still like $400, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. What does Ledger have, Nuna?
Yeah, he has a Nuna.
Yeah.
And I love Nuna and Uppa Baby Mesa. I love the Uppa Baby Mesa for an infant because it has a hard head, built-in head thing. So if you get hit from the side, Lily's head literally won't move. Mm. It will not move. It will not jostle. It will 100% stay still because it has like this thing that encases her head. But you also need to be checking your car seats like guidelines. Because there are guidelines for when you can no longer use the anchors, the built-in car seat anchors, and you have to start using a seatbelt. Seatbelt is actually usually safer option than the anchors. There are guidelines for when you need to turn your kid around. There are guidelines for when you need to not be using the bucket seat anymore and get into a convertible, weight limit and size limit. And these are all very important because these are the limits to which they were tested. They weren't tested at anything outside of those limits. So if you're driving around and your baby is over the weight limit, there's no guarantee that your baby will not get hurt.
I see a lot of moms. I think it's like 3 fingertips if your kid, if their head in an infant car seat is like creeping up higher than 3 fingertips above the top of the seat, their legs are irrelevant. It's their head.
Yes, legs can fold and they actually won't get hurt. Yeah. Rear face them as long as you can.
That's what I was going to say. Sunny's pediatrician, we went in there. She's 40 pounds, 3.5 years old. Yeah. She's tall as heck. Like she's crunched in her car seat, but she looked at me and she said, you rear face that baby as long as you can.
And most of them are like up to 50 pounds or 55 pounds.
Yeah, there's usually, I think I honestly thought it was 40, but
it depends on the car seat. Some car seats probably would be. I think with a steel base, you can go heavier. You just need to look and see what your car seat is.
And it's silly because people are always like, well, their legs are so long, blah, blah, and I was like, and a broken leg is a lot easier to fix.
But also, the instances of their legs breaking is very minimal with a steel base car seat because the car seat isn't folding in.
Yeah, right.
So those are some things to look out for your car seat. Also, all car seats are adjustable. Yeah. And that is, this is embarrassing. Noah was a gigantic freaking baby. Like, I had to take all the newborn pads out of his car seat when I got him in. But then he started growing, and I didn't know the car seat adjusted, that the headpiece moved up and down, and that the little seat belt between their legs can move forward and backward. And so
their shoulder straps up and down.
So it was like scrunch. So if your child is rear facing, their shoulder belt, right at their shoulder, should be right below, or is it below or above? It's right above, right? I want to say rear facing is right above because forward facing is right below. Okay. Whatever it is, it's the opposite. Yeah. But yeah, move those things.
And like pay attention to all the dials on the side, like how tilted they're supposed to be. And like there are so many intricacies to the point where if you don't have the car seat installed properly, insurance will not cover incidentals in an accident.
That's why it's so important to follow the guidelines and be within the limits.
And it's so important. Like, I actually need to look into this. I told Sunny she could come through here.
Oh. Yeah. The dogs are poor Sunny. She's getting run over by the dogs. Do you hear my
I
dogs?
think she's laughing or crying. I need to look into. I have these seat protectors beneath the car seats in our car,
Get those out.
and I was like reading something that is like not considered safe,
Don't get those
which
out.
is like so weird.
A lot of times
Why?
people also void your car seats
warranty or the
guarantee.
insurance, right?
Yes. Don't put any additives in your car seat. That's why it's so important to buy a car seat that has all the things you need. You can't put, and they sell these. I don't know why.
Kids
Those
kicking my brand new seats in my car and dirtying them.
Yes, I mean that's better than something bad.
No, I know. I just
but like those like things that you can buy at Target to put in your car seat to like to keep their head from bobbing around. Not safe. The shoulder straps,
extra shoulder straps,
not safe. If your car seat is tested exactly how it is, don't add anything to it. Follow Safe in the Seat. If you don't have them on your Instagram right now, go Safe in the Seat. And she is great, and she talks about all of this stuff.
Yeah, and she also kind of like I feel like debunks a lot of car seats themselves, that like people are ordering car seats online that are not even legal and people don't know.
Yeah. But then also she's also on the opposite end of me where I'm like, I need a steel frame, I need flame free. She's like, actually these ones are also still safe. Like it's okay if you're using it within the parameters. Yeah. It's still safe. I have a little bit of trauma, so I'm
that's valid for sure.
Core car seat person.
Yeah. I know. And also just like last thing is like, I think this is what I see the most that's wrong with how people buckle their kids in their car seat is the chest strap.
It has to be at armpit level.
Armpit level. Like it's crazy how often I see it not be that way. Yeah. You know how people take videos of their kids in their car seat and then it's like people have all sorts of opinions. Like you almost can't do it right online.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's probably the most common thing.
But she said that as a 1-year-old, we put Noah in his Nuna Rava because it's a convertible. It can be infant all the way up until he's done and just needs like a booster. So it's like a $600-something seat, but it is what it is. I can use it his whole life. So we put him in that seat. He was 7 months old and it was rear facing and all of that. So you can move at a year old to a convertible. You don't have to stay in the bucket. Yeah. I think the bucket is your safest option. It's so safe.
I do too. So I feel like there's most car seats take like 4 years to expire, right?
I don't know.
I almost feel like because Sunny's infant car seat was about to expire when we were going to have Ledger. We had probably like 6 months on it, but it was so uncomfortable. Like, at one point I was feeling it. I'm like, no wonder you're crying in the car. This thing sucks. Yeah. So I like bought him a Nuna and he was very cozy and now he like sleeps the whole time he's in the car.
The experience.
So,
but just do it. Look at your child's weight and if you're wanting to transition them because like at 1-year-old you're probably not carrying the bucket seat around. Yeah. It's probably a great time to get a really safe rear facing convertible. Do that. Yeah. That's great. There are so many safe options out there. So many great options for car seats.
You can just keep tabs on recalls.
And go follow Safe in the Seat and let her boss you around because I felt like I was kind of bossy there. But I had a big passion
what the heck?
for that because so many car accidents happen every single day.
Used to keep me from getting in my car.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. Thank you for that thought.
All right. We will see you guys next week. Bye. Oh, look at us. 45 minutes. I think that's the shortest episode we've ever done.
She's probably literally walked in with like Sunny a spoon. Otherwise, he probably would have brought